Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night for this round 3, season 19 of Sunday Night Lights, your ANZ Strength of Field for the Skip Barber series. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me once again is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, big night of action here tonight for us here at Phillip Island.
Exactly right, Alex. We've got a nice, fast, flowy track here for our skippy competitors to tackle. I'm expecting that we're going to have quite a bit of salt after turn one, lap one. The cold tyres definitely a little bit difficult to handle around that corner, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. There's a couple of corners here that are a bit tricky. The opening sector, I should say, through Doon, very, very challenging. Similarly through Southern Loop, and if you're not careful over Siberia early on, and indeed throughout the race, depending on how you manage your throttle, very challenging as well. But a bumper crop here tonight, right up there with the best of the week. Strength of field just a tick under 3,900. Best so far since our return. We've seen the likes of Simon Edwards on your screen here tonight return for the first time this season. We've got Sasha Gourlay of Redface Racing back again. Evolution Racing Team's Ben Smith, he's back on track. Geodesic driver Dennis Johansson and our own Top Split Racing Tim Gorcrotcher. Some of the big names out there again, not the least of which last week put on a great show is Mr. Benny Simonson. Corey, plenty of folks to keep an eye out there tonight.
And we even got some new faces in here as well, Alex, including Oscar Pistari, Juan Roman Bello Garcia, and Tobias Ritt, also in the field tonight. Should be interesting to see how these guys handle it with a 3,900 strength of field on the nose. It's definitely going to be interesting. We should be seeing some time starting to come up on the standings board as the drivers are getting ready to complete their first laps here, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of some of the new faces, well, we mentioned Simonson last week. He's had plenty of real-world experience, of course. Piastri as well, the car number 7 here tonight, Oscar. He's the current Euro Cup F3 champion and for 2019 and joining us here tonight. And you know what? My theory on this current world of isolation is that we're going to see a few more of these guys out on track, whether it be here in the skips or in the broader categories of iRacing. Expect to see a few more of these real life drivers trying to keep their skills up, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. I mean, we as motorsport enthusiasts have an excellent platform here in which to sharpen our skills. And if we are racing drivers already, this is just something to help keep our skills where they should be for when it's time to jump back into a car. Of course, it is still a simulation, so you don't get some real life things like G-forces and of the such like that. But nevertheless, it is still a great place to make sure you're either honing your skills or you're sharpening your skills to keep them right where they should be. And right now, Alex, we have Simon Edwards on the pole with his first lap of a 146.638. Incredible lap time around this Phillip Island circuit.
I'll tell you what, 46.6 on your first lap, that is fast. There'll be plenty of drivers out there watching this thinking, I'd love to do a 46.6 anytime, let alone my first lap in quali. Track temp's down around 25 degrees and it's cloudy overhead, so there might be a little bit more grip out there, but that's an outstanding time. Lone qualifying course here. The second place on the grid, some 3.5 tenths behind Ben Smith, who's dominated the series so far, taking out the first couple of rounds for Evolution Racing Team. He is back here again tonight and looking to take on some of the big guns that who are returning to the series, and it's great to see so many ANZ flags there up on the tree there. Great to see the local guys not only coming out to support the series, but getting to have a run against some of the best drivers in the world, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. I actually took the time to count up how many Aussie flags we got in there at the moment, and we do have 10 drivers representing Oz and Z here tonight. And it looks like some of the drivers are starting to get their second lap times in. Oscar Pistari currently with the lead at a 146.430, Alex. Absolutely blistering quick time. and it looks like Simon Edwards was unable to best it, being 0.041 of a second behind him.
Yeah, only managing to get about a tenth out of his second lap was Edwards, and Piastri's on pole with a 46.4. That's just crazy fast. Ben Smith looks like he's on a cool down lap, most likely, having done a 46.5. I tell you what, the top 8 drivers sitting in under the 40, the top 10 drivers now under the 47-second mark in qualifying. That's outstanding. Do you know what else is outstanding, Corey? Luke Whitten for Team Milo back in action, back in the top split. Fantastic to see Mr. Whitten back on track. One of Australia's leading Skippy drivers for so long. Haven't seen him so far this season, but he's back out there tonight, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And if his last race was anything to go by, he's definitely in good standing to try and get a good result here tonight. He was flirting with the top 5 the entire night, or the entire race, for the warm-up race here tonight. And he's definitely going to be one for us to keep an eye on as the race progresses, because we know he's not generally the best of starters, but he does definitely know how to work his way through a field, Alex.
Absolutely. Just under 30 seconds remaining in quali now, Corey. Not sure, Johansson, whether he's on his second lap or his first, because I tell you what, he's not going to get another one in. But he's done a 46.9, so Dennis is very handy around here. My suggestion is he's probably only done one lap, and he's going to start from P11, which, this track, like it or loathe it, is a draft track. And I tell you what, you get the best and the worst of Skippy racing here, some of the closest racing you'll ever see. And on top of that, you'll also get some of the biggest accidents at the time. But let's run through our grid for round 3 at Phillip Island here, season 19, a Sunday Night Lights. Oscar Piastri from ANZ setting a blistering 46.4 to take out pole here, just ahead of UK and I Simon Edwards. P3 tonight went to our previous 2 rounds winner. First and second round he won. Ben Smith from Evolution Racing Team. Tim Gorkrocher, top split racing team there in P4. Sasha Gourlay for Redface Racing in P5. Benny Simonson returns after putting on a great display last week. Starts from P6 tonight. Luke Whitten, as we mentioned, for Team Milo, starting in P7. Håkon Grebstad back with us again, regular to the series for Team Ovaltine in P8. P9, stalwart of the series, Kevin Henderson. P10, Team of Askalampi from Finland, representing the Scandinavian club, Dennis Johansson and Alpine Geodesic Racing in P11. Tobias Ritt starting from P12 tonight as we go over the page. Rod Pidnar for ANZ in P13. P14 to Team Milo's own John Scholtz. P15 tonight to ANZ's Samuel Collins. P16, Kike Sanchez from Iberia. That's the random R you see in the scoring, just because of the way the scorings are tabulated in the overlays there, folks. That's Kike Sanchez. P17 went to Russell Clark, the head honcho at Team Milo. P18 went to ANZ's David Lawrence, and Juan Ramon Belo Garcia in P19 off the grid tonight. Strength of field, as we said, 3,900 on the nose. The air temperature is 18 degrees, track temp 24 degrees. Expect to see those quick times continue, Corey. I'm wondering if we'll get into the 35s here tonight, or 45s, I should say.
Well, it will definitely be very possible, Alex. But first, for these drivers to manage that, we got to survive the first corner as the revs rise. Red lights mean rev, green lights mean go, and we are underway for this race as the field starts storming their way down to turn 1, Alex.
Absolutely, and we have Piastri leading us all the way down on this long run into Doohan Corner here. Flat out in fourth the first time round off the grid, depending on where you start in the field. And the guy, look at it, 2 by 2 already. Everyone's keeping their nose relative. Oh, we've lost one. It's Gourlay. Is off the outside there, dropping like a stone through the timing sheets. Everyone else seems to have managed to get through okay. Second week in a row, we've lost one of the top drivers running around in the early stages, Corey.
Yeah, and I'm just amazed that everyone made it through 2 by 2 in that first corner, Alex. As I was saying before, in the warm-up race, we saw a lot of crashes.
We've lost one. Massive sorry for those at home. We've lost one out the back. Simon Edwards. He's gone for a jump. Go ahead, mate.
That was an incredible crash. I think there was just a little bit of close quarters action there. I'm not sure if someone maybe just stepped out wide. It looks like the droids have fixed his wheel, which collapsed very momentarily there. But that's Simon Edwards now to the back of the pack. And back at the front, Alex, this is going to give Oscar a little bit of breathing space in front of this second place Tim Gorkrocher.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. I tell you what, Piastri. Oh, the Gorkroch is closed straight up under brakes in the MG hairpin there, and I was expecting Piastri to potentially run away with it there. He's been quick here all week, but as it stands, Gorkroch has been able to reel him in pretty quickly, and we still now have a long train of cars looking at about. Oh, I tell you what, before the gaps start breaking up, it's all the way back to P15, Corey.
And that is absolutely incredible. And this draft that they're all getting down Gardner Straight will definitely be helping them to stay in touch. The one thing that I am looking at right now, Alex, is Benjamin Smith, our third
Whoa, we've
plated
lost
driver.
another one, Corey. Sorry, mate. Whipping off into the
We've
grass
lost
on the
another
outside.
couple. There was another one behind him as well. And that was Kike Sanchez actually in the background as well, Alex. But Benjamin Smith dropping all the way down to 9th at the end of that first lap, Alex.
Ben Smith in the midst of a hard battle ahead as we jump back up the front. Gorkrocher now taking the lead from Piastri. You've got Simonson, Grebstad and Timu rounding out your top 5. Johansson up 5 positions already. He's into P6, as is Vascalampi in P5. Both of them up 5 positions. In fact, many of the field going up. We've lost another one. I think it was Rit dropping down the order rapidly, and I can't even find him on the board, Corey.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick little look at a replay right now, Alex, and it looks like he got a tap from behind by 2 Milo cars, and then a third Milo car came in after that. So all 3 Milo cars that are in the field accidentally touched Tobias Rit there coming into Honda corner.
No Christmas cards for Team Milo this year, no doubt, as we're still riding up front now. Rit in the pits now, as we just caught a quick glimpse. We've got Gorkrocher leading the way now with Witten and Rit look on the pits. The only reason why they're in at the top of your timesheets there is we see Gorkrocher come through ahead of Piastri. Piastri pull to the inside. The driver's right on the run into doing corner now. Still very tricky. Oh, he cuts straight across. No problems for these guys, Corey. They get it done. But look at the rear of the car. Every single one of them wanted to step out. In fact, Johansson takes the rallycross line there through the exit of Doohan as he comes around again into the southern loop this time round, Corey.
And Doohan corner is definitely going to be one of the exciting points to watch the entire time so far. But we've only seen really 2 cars drive off of it. It looks like these guys are fighting pretty hard. Benny Simonson making a move now for P2 on Timmy Gorkrocher. It looks like he's got it in Håkon Grebstad looking to take advantage as well, trying to take away 3rd position from Timmy G. Is he going to hold it on the outside of Siberia? He will, Alex, and that'll be Håkon Grebstad up into P3.
I tell you what, they're doing well, because you don't want to be too racy in the early stages, because if this pack breaks up, the likes of the speed that's on front here in Piastri and Simonson, 2 world-class drivers in real-world racing, they have the potential to drive away. It's a really great opportunity to see some of the best in the world on the real track compete with some of the best in the world on the virtual track here tonight, as we've got a great lineup of drivers here showing their stuff in this. Like I said on my stream during the week, this is the opportunity to see the best of Skip Barber racing, because no other category on the iRacing service will you see this sort of side-by-side action from flag to flag, Corey. Really is a fantastic... Oh, as we see 3 wide now, Grebstad really looking to poke the nose through the middle, but the door was shut in no uncertain terms by Simonson and Piastri there as they tuck 2 by 2 now. Gorkrocher trying to make it side by side up the inside of Doohan now with Grebstad as the leaders, and Simonson and Piastri do the same in front, Corey.
I'm just having a little look behind these guys, Alex. Sitting in that 7th position, just on the back of this pack, is the 3 car of Benjamin Smith. He's managed to stay with these leading pack, and we've even got Kevin Henderson just in behind him as well, looking to try and hold on, but it looks like Kevin Henderson's going to lose out as the big battle is coming into Honda hairpin now. Lots of moves being made here, and it looks like Grebstad possibly going to lose out on second to Pisari, and he has indeed done that, Alex, down to third.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still in a pack down to Tim Gorkocher in P7 now after leading the early stage of this race. My suggestion, Corey, is he's keeping his powder dry till the later stages of this race. 14-lap race, only on lap 4. No good in blowing the proverbial early on, as there's plenty of time. Oh, as we see the Ben Smith, I think it was, in P6, just getting all sorts of loose in the rear there. And look, I tell you what, hanging on the back of this pack, as you say, is stalwart of ANZ Skippy Racing, Kevin Henderson, who's he's less than a second off this, which of course is within draft range. But I tell you, it'll be interesting to see. He's now 1.1 seconds at the end of this straight. What this massive draft pack does to that gap, Corey.
Well, definitely be interesting to see, but at the moment we've got another three-way battle for the lead coming into Doohan Corner. Hawkon up the middle, can he take the lead away? And in fact, he can do it. He's just overtaken Pisari and Simonson there on Gardner Straight. And Simonson down to third, Pisari up into second. And I think we're going to be seeing a lead change every single lap if this is the way it's going to keep up here, Alex.
I would expect at least one, Corey, if not multiple lead changes, to be honest, because these guys are having at it. And look, you're watching here, it'll happen again. Oh, as we see Piastri run a little bit wide, I think it was. Are they going to make it 4 wide now, Corey? Oh, I tell you what, how did they all get through there?
It's the absolute skill of these drivers, Alex, both real life and virtual. These guys just have that natural instinct to know where they can and cannot stick their car and where they can and cannot brake to pull it up in time. These guys are showing an absolute masterclass right now as we go through turn 7 into the hay shed. We're still 2x2 in the hay shed, Alex. We don't see this in real life.
Shades of Alton Park from a couple of seasons ago. Oh, I tell you what, the 3 car there is Smith poking his nose up the inside on the run up Lukey Heights now. So I tell you what, I don't know how you get so many cars in the same piece of track at the same time. No contact, no bent wings. They just keep putting on a show, Corey.
Well, we could absolutely cover them in a tally-ho paper right now, Alex. The racing that these guys are putting on, as close and hard and furious as it is actually working out a little bit to Hawkon Grebstad's advantage, but it's also going to be his disadvantage here coming down Gardner Straight because he's got such a big gap right now. These guys are going to catch his draft, and they're going to catch him like he's standing still, but with them still battling it out, 3 wide for second place now. I don't think Hawkon's going to be in the lead for too long here, Alex.
Well, as we see Simonson come up the inside now, and it's Smith. Smith trying to put his authority there through Doohan this time as they come to the southern loop on the start of lap 6 now, 2x2. Tell you what, it's very tough for Smith there on the outside. Grebstad controlling well, hugging the inside line, leaving enough room on the outside. Tell you what, it's very difficult to get anything done on the outside line there, let alone keep pace, but he's tucked right behind. He's going to have a look into the Honda hairpin here. They're going to be 3 wide this time round, Corey. Can they get it done? Look at that, beautiful. So 3 wide. It's the 7 car of Piastri coming up the inside. Grebstad forced wide. They all make it through again, Corey. Isn't that Grebstad, even after that run, fighting for P2 with Piastri on the outside. I tell you what, the elbows are out, but it's all clean stuff at this point, Corey.
Well, I did see a little bit of contact there for Grebstad on the exit of Honda, but these guys are absolutely going at this hammer and tongs, Alex. We're still 2x2 coming through the hay shed, going up to Lukey Heights. I don't think that we will be able to take this, Alex. This is absolutely crazy action that we're seeing on track right now. Still 2x2 coming into the MG hairpin. It's going to be too close to call. I don't think we could call it a winner yet, Alex.
No, not with the balance of 8 laps or 8 laps remaining when they cross the line this time round on the tail end of lap 6. I tell you what, the quiet achiever in here at the moment is Johansson. He's sitting back there side by side with Vascalampi in P5 and 6. They're up 4 and 6 positions respectively, depending on where they shake out through this corner. Johansson, of course, plenty of real world world experience, loves to get in amongst it in his skip. He's one of the top drivers going around. He'll be loving this. I can see the grin ear to ear. If you want to see it firsthand, check out Race Driver 77 on Twitch. You'll see one of the handiest skippy drivers running around at the moment, as he's now tucked back into P4 behind Simonson. I beg your pardon, P5 behind Simonson, Grebstad, Smith and Piastri, Corey.
And we're seeing some more overtaking happening here now, as Benjamin Smith going to look to the inside of Pisari going into Honda Hairpin. He's got it there, and Grebstad's looking to go with him. Can Grebstad hold on to that second position, or will he have to concede it coming into Siberia? My apologies. It looks like he's going to lose out on it. He's going to stay in third. These guys are still pushing the absolute pedal to the metal, putting the claw to the floor, Alex. It's going to be an interesting race if this is the way it's going to keep continuing.
Yeah, as they come up now through the Hayshed onto Lukey Heights, of course. It's interesting because Smith had about 4/10 side by side once again. This time Grebstad up the inside of Johansson. I thought he might even have a chance to skip away, but no, it is not going to be the case. Piastri right on his tail and looking to make this race his own. I'll tell you what, my on-track experience this week has been fantastic, and this is showcasing, like I said, the best of Skip Barber racing you will see, and let's hope it stays that way, because there's now 7 laps to go as they cross the line 2 by 2 into the first corner once again. Doing corner, really putting on a show. The rear of the car wanting to let go every single time now as they approach the southern loop on the start of lap 8. Corey, plenty of action still to come.
Oh, that's exactly right, Alex. And in fact, we've got a battle for third happening here as well, as we can see DJ Dennis Johansson making his way up to the inside of Simonson. Can he hold on to that position as we come towards the Honda hairpin, as we go 2 by 2 for the lead as well? It's all quite frenetic action here at the moment, Alex. It's going to be hard to keep track with all these overtaking maneuvers taking place. You're definitely going to have some good software to make sure you keep up with all the changes in position as they go.
Absolutely, as Johansson gets up the inside of Simonson this time round, side by side. Grebstad now looking to do the same as they come through turn 7, and the Hayshed now on the run up to Lukey Heights. Can get it done up the inside on the run up to Lukey Heights. As Johansson showing the nose up Piastri's tailpipe there. Now slips to the outside. See if he can't get it done into MG. And has he got it done? Well, he set that up from 3 corners back, but it will be Piastri. He's got the inside run out of the final corner onto the front straight, the front Gardner straight this time round. And I tell you what, though, that's some quality driving there. There's switches and switchbacks and lots of strategic driving going on there, and yet still no contact. Great to see, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. It is amazing to see as we go 3 wide on Gardner straight again, heading towards Doing corner. I'll get my words right eventually. I promise I'll English one of these days. And this time it's going to be Dennis Johansson coming out on top with the lead. And we've got the 3 rear-wheel drivers coming up just behind him. There's a little bit of contact there between 3rd and 4th. And that's going to allow Håkon Grebstad to take 4th away from Ben Smith, who's going to drop all the way back to, what is that, about 6th place there, Alex. Back at the back of the pack with Timmy Gorkrotcher.
Simonson and Smith there, nose to tail on the outside line through the southern loop. Incredible control from Simonson to hang on to that, as he's now forced his way back up into P3 with Smith right on his tail. Is that Grebstad having a look up the inside of Siberia now? He's not going to get that done though this time round, and I tell you what, fantastic control from Simonson there once again. Great show last week, and he's putting it on again this week, Corey.
That's right, Alex, and all these guys are really turning up the temperature. I didn't think we were going to see such fantastic racing here, but these guys are definitely showing us how it's done, as there's a little bit more contact. This time Simonson getting into the back of Pisari, and Pisari's the one who's losing out. Simonson up into P2. That's going to put Benjamin Smith back into 3rd here, Alex.
Benjamin Smith really looking to capitalise on the first 2 weeks of the season, and he doesn't want to give up that top step so easily now, as he's tucked in behind Johansson with Smith right on his tailpipe once again. I still don't see any bent wings, so there's the guys are racing so hard, yet it's all clean to this point. We see Simonson go to the outside of Johansson this time round, and it's the three car of Smith around the outside of Johansson. Simonson went clean by on the inside, and again 2x2 through nearly every corner on the track. That tough outside line being used by so many to try and set up the inside overtake into the Honda hairpin. I tell you what, quality to stick it on the outside of there, Corey.
And Alex, as we got contact between DJ and that's the 7 car of Pisari. It looks like Pisari might have a little bit of lingering damage there. I'm not too sure, but it looks like they're gonna come out of it fairly all right. But again, Alex, I gotta go back to the driver skill of these guys, both virtually and real world wise. These guys are definitely putting everything on the table, and it just goes to show, if it's not natural instinct, then these guys have got a buttload of skill, because they're just absolutely blowing my mind with how close they are and how little they're touching here, Alex.
Yeah, a lot can be said against draft tracks. A lot of people are critical of them, but I tell you what, they can produce some good quality racing with in the right company. And Simonson forcing Johansson wide, 3 wide into MG. Can they get it? Simonson, discretion and skill, the better part of Valor there. He pulls it up, lets the other two go, and he sets himself up the inside of Johansson through the last 2 corners. Doesn't lose any positions. That's quality stuff once again through the MG hairpin. And I'll tell you what, as they cross the line, there'll be 4 laps to go. I don't know if the temperature can rise any higher, Corey, but I expect it to still.
Well, Alex, normally we don't see this kind of racing till the last 4 laps. We've been seeing this every single lap, as it looks like they might be trying to make it 4 wide here going into Doonan Corner. I don't think they will, but this time it's going to be Pisari on the inside of everyone, taking the lead away from Simonson. And Dennis Johansson still sitting there in 3rd, but these guys are putting on an absolute clinic right now, Alex, and I totally agree. I love it when the skippies come to these big drafty tracks, because it really shows what these cars can do. When they're in close quarters like this, it would almost be attuned to watching a NASCAR race at Talladega or Daytona. Now we go 3 wide, heading towards the Honda hairpin. Will they all survive it, Alex? There's only one way to find out.
Johansson chucked it in there at the end on the outside, the rear of the car stepping out, the tyres cut, and he gripped up to get the inside run now, the inside of Piastri through Siberia on lap 11 of 14. Fantastic skill from the Scandinavian driver. He's done an amazing job there. 2x2, we still go now. Sam Collins in the pits, judging by the timing screen. Don't know what happened there, and apologies to the other drivers in this field, as once again these guys sort themselves around. The front action is just too good to distract or to get away from here. Side by side through MG once again. We are still 7 cars deep, 8 if you count Gorkrotcher, who's just sitting quietly on the back of this. My previous theory about him biding his time, maybe he's waiting for the big one, Corey, and looking to clean up the scraps. I don't know, but I tell you what, these guys continue to battle it out as hard and fast as they did on lap 1, Corey.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex, and I do believe that Gorkrotcher might be employing that strategy that you're thinking of, as now we've gone 4 wide going into Doohan Corner. Absolutely incredible. Contact.
Piastri's into Simonson. They've gone side by side for one too many times. Gorkrotcher checked up behind Piastri. Side by side, the 2 wheel. How's that for a re-entry, folks? The stewards would have something to say about that, I'm sure, in Simonson's experience there. But we are left with 4 cars up the front there now. Johansson out in front of Smith. Vascalampi and Grebstad battling it out just ahead of Piastri, who managed to recover after the 2 rear-wheel drivers of Simonson and Piastri came together side by side through Doohan. It took until lap 12, Corey, but it happened, and yet they're still going there, particularly these 4 up the front, hoping to salvage a victory out of that, Corey.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. We still got 4 cars out there, so we still got plenty of chances for disaster to happen. We don't want to see it happen because this racing has been absolutely incredible. As we see now another pass for the lead, Benjamin Smith trying to get onto the outside now, going for a switchback on Dennis Johansson, coming through Lukey Heights into the MG hairpin. And he's going to switch back again on the exit, maybe. No, not this time. But these guys are definitely starting to turn the dial up to 11, Alex. And I dare say some of them have found a 12th level here that they're turning the knob up to.
Yeah, beautiful. I tell you what, it takes a lot of skill to see the attitude of the car in front of you. Johansson spewing out to the right-hand side, forcing now. We've got Smith running on the grass. Oh, will Johansson let him back on? Will he let him back on? I think he's going to all the way up. Marley Malort, I tell you what, I reckon Smith would have had to lift there. Oh, Grabstad! Grabstad and Vascalampi have come together. The two, the finish and the other Scandinavian driver of the field, they're out, and we're left with Smith. Piastri now back into it, with Johansson leading him out with about 1.5 laps to go as they approach the Doohan hairpin on the early stage, or the mid stages now, lap 13 of 14. Oh, I tell you what, after all that time, we're finally starting to lose a few. Fantastic action, but just that first corner there at Doohan really bringing them unstuck, as we kind of predicted, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. I did say from the outset that Doohan Corner was definitely going to be the spot to watch, and I was not disappointed. But one person that this has definitely benefited, Alex, is Timmy Gorkrotcher, up into 4th place right now, just ahead of Simonson, and looking to make something of this race. Not going to catch up to the front 3 in the lap and a half that we have left, but 4th place is definitely not a slouch position for Mr. Gorkrotcher, Alex.
No, absolutely. Watching the front 3 now. Smith up the inside of Johansson this time round. Leaves just... I tell you what, he left the nose there, trying to get the inside run out of the final corner, but it'll be under threat from Piastri. Johansson and Piastri, no strangers to each other this week, having done a ton of racing together. Elbows out style from two very high quality competitive drivers. Great to see two ANZ drivers up in this front 3, and Gorkrotcher makes 3 in the top 5. 3 wide now into Doohan they go. Final lap. Who wants to lead it out here? As we got Johansson comes across the front of Smith now. Piastri takes... Oh, Smith's into the rear of Johansson. How did he hang on to that, Corey? The rear of the car so unstable through Doohan, and yet Johansson took it like a champ. Didn't look to deviate one bit at all.
Well, Johansson's definitely one of the most skilled steerers of a Skippy that we have here on iRacing, Alex. So I'm not actually all that surprised that he was able to hold on there. But it looks like Benjamin Smith might have a little bit of lingering damage, just a little bit off the pace here.
But those into the rear, Piastri. Piastri's, he's had, as they say in the classics, more hits than Elvis this week. A little nudge into the Doohan hairpin in the braking zone sees Johansson skip through with Smith now behind Piastri, no doubt fuming underneath the helmet. He's been resolved or relegated to third, Corey.
And I think that this is going to put both of these Aussies sitting in second and third now right up against Johansson, because he showed Smith absolutely no room. And even if that was maybe a little bit of netcode there going into the Honda hairpin, Piastri's definitely not going to be happy about getting shoved out of first. But we'll have to wait and see, Alex, as we're coming through MG Corner around turns 11 and 12. It's definitely going to be an interesting finish to this race along Gardner Straight. Who have you got your money on very quickly before we get there?
Johansson's got this one in the bag. 5/10 on the exit of the final corner. No draft to pass there. It'll just be between Smith and Piastri for the final couple of places on the podium. But it is Johansson. Johansson tonight taking the victory. Piastri, Smith on the line with a very small, in fact, 1/100th of a second. Grebstad crossing for 4th. Gourlay recovering. Or did he recover? Yeah, he recovered all the way up to P6 after blowing it. Speaking of blowing it, there's a blown engine from one of the Milo drivers, followed by another one in the rear. Oh, tell you what, there's some post-race shenanigans going on there. But impressive drive from Gourlay after losing on the outside of Doohan on the very first lap. He fought his way all the way back up to 6, although I have to say there's a bit of carnage along the way there, Corey. But let's go check out the final results of what was a spectacular race, I have to say, from flag to flag here. Sunday Night Lights bringing the action once again from round 3 at Phillip Island this week. Dennis Johansson for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing up 10 positions to take out the win. P2 tonight, previous week's winners, both times, Benjamin Smith for Evolution Racing Team. Oscar Piastri makes a successful entry into the series in P3. Håkon Grebstad, P4 tonight for the Team Ovaltine driver. Kevin Henderson, fantastic drive from Kevin. Patient, bit of a lonely race, I suggest. He's finished in P5 tonight. Fantastic result. P6 went to Redface Racing Team's Sasha Gourlay. Great recovery from Sasha. John Scholz, the first of the Team Milo drivers here tonight. P7, great result for Scholzy. Gorkrotcher, we didn't see what happened towards the end there for him for Top Split Racing, but he's finished in P8 after having that really patient race at the back there. Kike Sanchez for Iberia in P9 in his debut in the series. P10 went to Team of Vascalampi after that coming together with Grebstad early on. Great to see Grebstad recover to P4 actually after that late race incident. ANZ's Rod Pidnar in P11. David Lawrence similarly for ANZ in P12 as we go over the page. Simon Edwards, perhaps the unluckiest SNL driver we've ever seen, once again finishing much further down the order than you might otherwise expect in P13. The boss man of Team Milo, Russell Clark in P14, returning favourite Luke Whitten for Team Milo in P15, Juan Ramon Belo Garcia from Iberia in P16, ANZ Samuel Collins in P17, Benny Simonson after putting on such a great display this week and last, all the way down in P18 with Tobias Ritt 13 laps down in P19. Doesn't look like he even took the grid. Strength of field, as we said, 3,900. Dennis Johansson. There's that 45 that we promised, folks. Draft assisted, no doubt. A 45.5. Take that one to the bank. One of the quickest laps you'll see around here, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And I do know what happened with Simonson himself and Timmy Gorkrotcher in turn 11. On the final lap, got into each other. I was going to alert you to this just before you were going through the results, but didn't quite get a chance. Looks like Gorkrotcher turned in on Simonson going into turn 11. A little bit of net code put them around, but definitely that is what's caused both of them to drop down the order there on that final lap, Alex, in what was otherwise an absolutely incredible race to watch, all 14 laps of it.
Yeah, just following the boys around on that final lap. You see Gorkrotcher tucked in behind Simonson there as they came through the first couple of corners there. Simonson obviously carrying some damage from those earlier contacts in the race. And you can see Gorkrotcher tucked right up in behind there, looking to make the move into Doohan perhaps. As you say, oh, he's cut back to the inside. Will he swing out to the outside? Oh, it looks to be patient stuff pretty much because they know it's all going to happen as you see the tyre smoke from the cars in front. But still continuing on. Let's see if we can't fast forward a little bit and catch the moment. Yeah, up the inside of turn 7. Looking to get the run up into Lukey Heights. I don't know the strategy there. I guess we'll find out if we get the chance to talk to Gorkrotcher. Side by side they went on the run up. See, it's a good chance to get the move done through Lukey Heights there, but still almost at some stage here. Yeah, it drops down. Seems to be okay. Oh, I must have gone back too far. Anyway.
Yeah, it's going into turn 11, Alex.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I beg your pardon. Turn 11. What's happened here? Oh, yeah, Simonson gone up to go up the inside, just collected. The two of them come together. They'll argue that one in the pits after the race, I'd suggest. Whether or not Simonson was there or Gorkrotcher came across, the boys will work that out after the race, no doubt. But we've got a couple of people lined up in the green room. If I can queue up where we kick off here, and there's the green flag dropping. Who we got in here? We'll tend to go in finishing order. So we'll bring up Mr. Smith once again. Ben Smith joining us once again post-race after grabbing second spot on the podium tonight rather than the usual top spot after what was, I have to say, quite a spectacular race. What was it like from your vantage point, Ben?
Yeah, I tell you what, coming in, I wasn't really that confident. I've done a lot of laps this week, so I was pretty stoked to get up on the second step of the podium. Everyone was pretty respectful, I found, for the first kind of 10 laps. I thought, and like netcode and stuff didn't really play that much of a factor like I thought it might have, so props to everyone for giving each other a bit of space. Yeah, I really enjoyed the battle with Dennis and Oscar towards the end there.
Yeah, mate, it made for spectacular racing, I have to say. The quality was on out there, as was the action. It really shows you what this category can do in terms of side-by-side racing when you get a good field together.
Yeah, definitely that 3 wide. There was one chance there where we could have gone 4 wide, but I decided to back out of that because, we all want to get to the end. Obviously, you might have seen the grass. That provides a bit of grip as well, more than I thought. But yeah, thanks to Benny and Ian from ERT, have been pushing each other all week. Well, they've been setting the bar pretty high for me to get to on the time trials, so that's probably helped me get the pace for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an interesting run up the grass. The engines of these cars obviously often referred to as lawnmower engines, and certainly the analogy was not lost there for you tonight. But a fantastic drive, great result, mate. And it wasn't like you didn't have to cope with adversity either. We just on the replay saw a car come flying over the cockpit. So on lap 1, I think it was. So certainly a great drive and a great fight back from that position, and hopefully he enjoyed the race at the same time. But listen, thanks for joining us on track again and in the booth. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Of course, thanks to you boys for the broadcast. It's awesome to look back on during the week. And all our sponsors at ERT, Panda Race Fuels, Mere Raceware. Thanks again. Hopefully I'll see you next week.
Beautiful, Ben. Thank you, sir. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you then, mate. Hopefully the action will be just as exciting next week.
Cheers, guys.
Evolution Racing Team's Benjamin Smith there. Corey, quite the drive there tonight from all and sundry, but fantastic result there for Ben once again. That'll keep him on top of the pops as far as the series is concerned.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And the most important part about that was he did have that first lap incident going through Honda Hairpin, but he was able to hold on to the back of the lead pack and managed to fight his way back through the pack, even going up my alley a little bit and doing a little bit of dirt tracking there on the grass. We might have to get him into a sprint car and see how he goes with that, because he showed some excellent car control there while Dennis was not giving him any room at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was 3/4 of the way down Gardner Straight before he got back onto the track again.
Yeah, I know. I have to say it was a bit of comic relief in the middle of that awesome action. But yeah, fantastic to see. But next up on our list is Team Ovaltine's Hawken Grebstad back in the series this week, back in the thick of it too. I tell you what, Hawken, there was a bit going on out there.
Good day. Sure was. Pretty crazy race.
Yeah, mate, action from flag to flag there. How did you see it from your cockpit?
I was hunting for the win if I could, but unfortunate contact with Timu in the last stages there kind of summed me out of it. And then Simon and Tim obviously had an incident which gave me 4th. So not a bad finish overall, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It's quality field, right up there with the top in the week. In fact, I think we might have jagged second highest strength of field for the week. So we're building back up again, and we're starting to see some of the familiar faces come back, and some of the great racing as well. So, what do you reckon? I thought, despite being much maligned, the draft track here experience at least was looked pretty good from where we were sitting, anyway.
Yeah, the racing gets crazy here. Definitely when you get like a 6-car pack that we had, or however many we did. I'm not even sure if we had Yeah, everyone's jostling for position and trying to be there at the last lap.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, mate. Well, thanks once again for joining us here tonight. Anyone who'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'm just gotta give a shout out to you guys for starting back up. I hadn't realized I watched last week's race and I could have signed up, but I didn't know you were back on. So, yeah, good to see you guys back.
Yeah, mate. We're trying to keep the show alive, and hopefully bigger and better things to come. So thanks again for joining us, mate. We look forward to talking to you in the coming weeks.
Sounds good, Alex. See you guys.
There you go, Corey. That was Mr. Håkon Grebstad. Fantastic drive from him tonight on his return to the series. Great to see him out there, and part of the action again for Team Ovaltine.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it's always great to see Håkon on track. And it's even better to see him doing well. You can tell by his voice, he's not a very emotional person. But you can tell he's absolutely wrapped with that 4th position. And in what is a grand return for him to SNL. Obviously, he didn't realize that we were back. But he knows that now, and he's definitely here to show that he's here to win it.
Yeah, absolutely right there. Well, we've got one person left. Of course, it's our chief scorekeeper, Mr. Timu Vaskalampi. Timu, quite a bit of action out there tonight, mate.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, haven't done much driving this week with Skippy and off season, so was a bit off pace and started from mid back and didn't expect to be able to fight for the win, but I was there. But just failed quite bad with Hawk.
Yeah, that front corner there at Doohan's pretty tough to get right. The rear of the car always wanting to step out there, but unfortunate incident between the two of you, but hopefully it didn't take too much away from the experience overall, as the racing looked to be hot from the get-go.
Yeah, it was fun for a while, and I was just trying to have a little fun and survive, and I survived quite a many tricky situations where people went crashing. I don't know, I got confused when there's a lot of thing happening on the right, and I was 3 wide, and I was hesitating if I wanted to back out, and then I decided to back out too late and slowed down at the same time, and Håkon slowed down, tried to just slow down and fall behind him, but that failed so bad. That was very silly.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, mate, but hopefully the racing was enough to keep you back in action, and of course we do appreciate you keeping the scoreboard alive and ticking for us this season. It's a great job that you're doing for us, but anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go this week, mate?
Normal, you people, you guys and Skippy people.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Timu, and we look forward to seeing you on track again in the coming weeks, mate.
Yeah, sure. Bye.
There you go, Corey. That is Timu Vaskalampi, Finnish driver of note, and of course giving us some good action on and off the pitch, so to speak, this week.
Yeah, that's right, Alex, and he was definitely up in the thick of it, but that unfortunate contact that he had with Grebstad going into turn 1 definitely hampering his result there. But it's good to see him at least battle back to finish where he started in P10. Not the result that he'd want, but it's a decent result given the circumstances that he was put in there. But all in all, Alex, this was an absolutely fantastic race. A lot of action throughout the entire field, even though we were only focused on the front group. But it's definitely going to be one for the ages here for us in lead changes, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's it. I'll tell you what, there weren't many in that front pack who didn't lead the race at one point or another. And look, weren't we all beneficiaries of that, the action as a result? We're trying to get Dennis Johansson into the Discord server to do an interview, but I think we might be struggling at this stage. But which is a shame. It'd be great to have our winner here tonight, but we'll make sure that we get him sorted if we can for next week. Though, Corey, highlight of the night for you. What takes out your drive of the night?
I'd have to say, the Safe Hands Award would have to go to Benjamin Smith there. That driving on the grass in a skippy is definitely not easy. And, not only did he manage to do it well, but he did it while still trying to battle for position. I don't know too many drivers that would have put themselves through that, Alex. Normally, the natural instinct is to lift and just fall in behind, and he took that for as long as he possibly could. So that's definitely where I'm going to give my props to tonight. What was your highlight of the race here tonight, Alex?
Well, it's hard to go past that, to be honest, but I did enjoy so much the display that the drivers as a whole put on, if I'm honest. We said a couple of times that this has the potential, this track to show the best and the worst, and it kind of did that. But I have to say the Ledger was well and truly on the side of the best of this category, and it is probably the only category in iRacing, as I said, that you will see this kind of side-by-side racing between some of the top drivers, and so much action without incident. Of course, there were a couple towards the end as the heat really turned up, but on the whole, so impressed with the action out there tonight. And I do have to give the drive of the night to Mr. Johansson at the end. Up 10 spots in this sort of field after, I think he only got one quality lap in, to take it out is impressive indeed. If only I could get him in the Discord server, it'd be a lock, stock and barrel for him tonight. But folks, unfortunately that might do us here tonight. Corey, what's on for you this week?
So this week we have Output Racing League on Wednesday around my lunchtime, so it's about 11:30 in the morning Western Australian time. There's no daylight savings or standard time to worry about there because it's always the same time, +8 on the GMT. And we're going to Bristol. It's Bristol, baby, and it's going to be an exciting race. I hear that the cars are going to be very sketchy to watch, so it's definitely going to be one for the ages, just like the race here tonight. And on Thursday night, around about 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, I'm going to be having the ODS E 360 Power Series from the Knoxville Speedway, which will be absolutely awesome to attempt. World famous track in the dirt circle terms. And it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping for a good result there this week, Alex.
Yeah, beautiful. Just a word from Dennis apologising for the netcode contact with Oscar in the final lap. It was unfortunate. The crowd called it. Dennis called it as well. It's an unfortunate part of online racing, but sometimes them's the breaks, so to speak. So everything else, Top Split, folks, is on your screen at the moment. The Discord server is there on your screen if you do want to join us for the broadcast or the post-race interviews. Facebook and the podcast on the topsplit.com. This race broadcast will be, the replay list will be up on the Top Split YouTube channel as well. I'll be back during the week to get into some more skippy action. Return to the track this week myself. Loved it around here and looking forward to much more of it. But for now, folks, on behalf of my co-commentator, the chaotic one, Corey Steinhauser, I've been your host, Alex McKellar, and until next time, I will say ciao for now.